Jones family drove to Disneyland at 50 miles per hour and returned the same route at 40 miles per hour. Find the distance to Disneyland if the total time was 7.2 hours. Most of the time we need a picture in a problem like this. So I've drawn a picture here, and it's got home and it's got Disneyland. We read from the directions up here that it took 50 miles per hour to drive to Disneyland, so I put 50 miles per hour. From the problem, it says that the return trip was 40 miles per hour. So the return trip, I put in 40 miles per hour. It says the total driving time was 7.2 hours. So I put total time is 7.2 hours. Right here in the little red picture, I have all the information from the problem that we need to solve it. But I also need a chart in a lot of these problems. And I need a formula to tell me what to put in the chart. Distance is equal to rate times time. That's the formula that we use for a lot of these problems. So I have rate, I have time, and a distance column. I have to Disneyland and from Disneyland or to home. From the picture above, I fill in the information. 50 and 40 was the rate. It doesn't have a time in my picture. That's going to be an unknown. So I let my time that takes to drive to Disneyland to be T. Now, if it's T hours to Disneyland and the total time is 7.2 hours, then the time to return would be to subtract the two. Take 7.2 minus T. The distance column over here is found by using our formula. It says you multiply rate times the time to get the distance. So we take the rate times the time and get 50t. We take 40 times the time and get 40 times 7.t minus t. The equation can be found by using the picture that we had above. We notice that the distances are the same. So if I take the distance from the table, which is 50t to go, and to return would be 40 times 7.2 minus t, that gives me my equation. I set the two distances equal. Now I use my distributive property and get 288 minus 40t. I have to get rid of the 40t since it's subtracted. I add 40t to both sides. 40t to 50t gives me a 90t, and add 40 here and that disappears. Now I have to get rid of the 90. So I divide both sides by 90, and it gives me t is equal to 3.2. Okay, that tells me my time. So now I can go and move my problem down, and from my table, since I know my time is going to be 3.2 hours, I know my rate is 50, I multiply those two together and it gives me my distance. And I can do that for the return trip also, the 40 times the 4, and it gives me 160 miles. So this is the distance to Disneyland. The next thing that I must do is to write down the answer. In a word problem, the answer is always written in words. So the distance to Disneyland is 160 miles. This is a simple problem if you make a chart and a nice little picture.